Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Warehouse's daily crypto stream, Christmas edition. I am Mike, and for the next 45 minutes to an hour, I'm going to take you through all the crypto news that I could find of interest today. Especially, we looked at why prices were down, and one of the reasons I gave was with Brogan on the show. Not yesterday, the day before. I've got another reason, and that is the futures. I'm going to go through it and explain it as best I can for you. We're also going to take a look at Solana. Solana, we spoke about a couple of days ago, and I said that I thought we would hold the line at about $100 if we were going to come back down, and it appears so far so good. We're going to take a look at Injective. It's one of the hot cryptocurrencies of the moment. I know I don't go chasing pumps, but there's good news about Injective. I'm not going to condone buying it today. I'm going to just basically introduce you to it, go over the topics, things like that as well. Now, we're going to look at the deadline day. Today is the last day for the ETF applications to be submitted. Any final changes? Today's the last day. We are 2 weeks away from deadline day, January the 10th, January the 11th. Around that time, we're going to see some price action. I would say January the 8th, January the 9th onwards is where we're going to see price action, either people front running or people who might have insider knowledge. Then we're going to take a look at Do Kwon. Do Kwon's trial is coming up. We're going to look at Trump NFTs. We covered Trump NFTs, one of the first NFT projects we ever looked at on this channel nearly 2 years ago now. We looked at this. We're going to have a look at that. Good morning to Mags M, I think. Hidden Agendas, good morning. Who else is in chat? There's a lot of people in chat these days. You can tell the markets are good because people are coming to watch crypto streams. Good morning, Ybaser. Good morning, Sundark. Good morning, Sega Hanado. Merry Christmas to you as well. Jax, good morning. Plenty of people in chat. Good to see you all. Fran is in the chat. Good morning, Fran. I hope you're doing well. For those of you that are new here, we do give away crypto on every single stream. We have follower rewards that we give out. So if you follow us, you'll get a small amount of crypto. In addition, we will be dropping a crypto box at 11:20. If you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can see it's 11:02. We will be dropping it at 11:20. That will be the crypto red envelope box that we will be dropping today. So make sure you hang fire for that. Good morning, Kishan. Welcome to the stream. Kishan is an OG member of Crypto Warehouse, and he will always get a shout out. Merry Christmas to you, Jack. I hope you're having a good one. Right, let's get on with the show and go through the markets first of all. See where we are. We're not doing too badly. I am going to explain in a minute another reason for the dip. and that is to do with the futures, Bitcoin futures. We're going to have a look at that in a minute, but we're at 42.7, not too bad considering where we were 2 months ago. We're in very healthy positions. Ethereum is sitting below $2,400. 1 second. Let me just add this. You need 3 pairs of hands to do these streams some days. I have 4 monitors in front of me to try and keep up with all the different chats. There we go. Who else is here? Rajiv, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Okay, so where are we? 42.7 for Bitcoin. Last 24 hours, what's up? Bonk is having a resurgence. It is, in colloquial terms, going bonkers. Say is up. Teller. Now, I don't know really an awful lot about this project. I might need to go and investigate it. I've only seen it in the last 2 days, so I might go and have a look at that. Casper is up. IOTA. Mina is up. Remember the news? We covered it yesterday. Cardano, Arbitrum, which is a layer 2 on Ethereum, and Mina are all working together using the Mina protocol to allow Cardano players to play games on Arbitrum. Huge, huge, huge news for Cardano. Cardano's price hasn't reacted yet to the news because it's not coming out until next year. But it's proper alpha, this. This is proper alpha. Once Cardano starts to spread its roots into different layer 2s and different chains, maybe even providing proof of stake services to other platforms, Cardano is going to absolutely tear. It's one of my picks. I know where it is in the market cap. I know where it is in the charts, but Cardano is doing things the right way. Audi is up, Helium is up, Solana is recovering, Algorand is up. We've got a lot of decent coins up. Rajiv, the new... Yes, I dropped a video for members only yesterday, and I gave 3 picks, 3 meme coins on 3 different chains. 1 on Avalanche, 1 on Solana, and 1 on Cardano. That was for the members only section, and they're degen, not degen plays, they are high risk plays. So we do make videos for those. Woo is down a bit, Aave is down, eCash, Bitcoin Cash, not really. I think the day wasn't too bad considering what's been trying to happen, and that's what we're going to go on to now. And that is the futures expiry. Now remember, this is the last Friday of the month. The last Friday of the month and the last Friday of every quarter tends to be more volatile for Bitcoin especially, because it's the futures expiry. So today there will be $11 billion of crypto options expiring. What does that mean? People bet on the price of Bitcoin on a certain date, and they will predict that Bitcoin, for example, will be $42,000. If Bitcoin comes in too high, or Bitcoin comes in astronomically higher, the shorters will lose and the longers will gain. So there's 178,000 Bitcoin option contracts worth 7.6 billion. They're set to expire today, a significant end of year event. The total value is 11 billion, up from last year's 9.8 billion. But remember, last year the price of Bitcoin was considerably lower, so I don't know whether this is a good indicator or not. In addition to Bitcoin, the 1.49 million Ethereum contracts with a value of 3.47 billion are also going to expire today. The notional value of today's whopping contract is 7.6. Where does it tell me the price action? Here we go. The pull call ratio for the big Deribit slice is 0.67, meaning there are around 50% more call long contracts expiring than puts shorts. The max pair point is $43,000. Although there's a lot of interest at $50,000. Greeks Live commented on the big annual delivery day, stating that The total of 11 billion is up from last year. So there we go. So what does this mean? What people are trying to do is force the price of Bitcoin to the level where they will either make a profit or not make a loss. This is another possible reason for the blip in the price of Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin, we were talking about the fact that it's coiling up, potentially looking to run towards $44,000, $45,000, $46,000. Now, if you have an option at $42,000, that's a very decent option for you. If you've longed, if you've shorted, it's not so good news. So it happens. It is the last Friday of the year. We are going to see volatility today. And it could be another reason that the price has been suppressed back down as close to 42,000 as possible. Now, we are going to have a look at the deadline day, which is further down, but let's have a quick look at the charts. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin and show you where we are. Now, I drew this yesterday. And I still think it holds true. We are in a little bit of a pennant, and at some point I expect it to tear up. And if you look at where it could tear up to, it's around about the price that we've been predicting for some time, which is $50,000 or thereabouts. We're in a nice little sidewards range. Are we going to tear up or are we going to tear down? Given the expiry of the futures, given how close we are to the end of the year, given that today is the deadline for the ETF applications, I think we need one tiny spark to set the price off. In my opinion, we are crabbing at this price and we are getting into a tighter and tighter range. And I only see one outcome at this point in the market, and that is a tear up. I have been calling for $48,000 to $50,000 for a long time. If you go back over my streams, just because we've fallen from 43.8 to 42.8 doesn't dampen my spirits. If anything, looking at this range, it's a matter of time before we tear up. We've done it before in the past. If you look here, where we were, we've done it before in the past. We're going to do it again. That's where I'm predicting us to go to. It's not a massively optimistic price target because a lot of people have been calling for $50,000, $60,000 by January, especially by the ETF application. Now, that ETF application and approval that happens in January is only the first of the two events. The first event, I said this yesterday, I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but in January, it is going to be approved. Now, from my knowledge, it doesn't mean that we are going to see those ETFs trading on January the 11th. From my understanding, it is going to take about 4 weeks, which would take us almost to Valentine's Day in February. So I expect two price movements. I expect one in January and I expect one in February. And those are both correlated to the ETF live trading and the approval. Cathie Wood is talking about buy the rumor, sell the news. So Cathie Wood is potentially talking about a correction once the ETFs are approved. It's possible. It's possible. She's got way more knowledgeable people working for her than I have. But we are cramming everything into the first 4 months. The ETF application, ETF approval, ETF going live, the halving in April. We are probably going to see a rate reduction at some point towards the end of the first quarter next year. I think going into election year, we're going to see the rates coming down. We discussed the Dixie, I think, yesterday, the DXY. We covered it. Let me just double check where we are with this. I think it was this one we covered. Yeah. So the DXY, I am predicting a smaller pullback maybe to hit this level that we bounced off here, which is at 99.7. So I think we're going to have a small bounce up and then a pull down. Now the Dixie is the strength of the dollar. The further the dollar falls in value, conversely the higher Bitcoin goes. It's not 100% correlated, but it's a good indication. So if we continue to see this fall, if it breaks $100, if it breaks the index of 100, we could see it come down a little bit further, and that's good for Bitcoin as well. So everything is aligned. The stars have aligned for $50,000, $60,000 at the beginning of next year. Don't worry about a small correction. There are people calling for $32,000. At this moment in time, I don't see it. I don't see us losing 30% in the near future. Could be wrong, however. Now, we're going to go and have a quick look at Solana, which is one of our favorite coins. We've been talking about it at least for the last 6 months. We had the huge run up. Look where we are now. We're back over $100. We're at $109. It's bounced. However, we don't know whether it's going to be a short-term bounce and we're going to retest $100 or not. We need to see what happens in the next few days. Where are we going to see? I think if Bitcoin rips, everything else is going to rip with it in a slightly more delayed fashion, but I do think we are going to rip. Solana retraces back to pre-Christmas prices as BNB retakes 4th spot. Now, as it stands, let me have a little look. I haven't checked as of this moment in time how close BNB and Solana are. Let's go and have a quick look. So we've got 47.8 billion and 46 billion. So it's not going to take much price action to move Solana back into 4th. Well, it's actually 3rd place. You can't really count Tether in it. So BNB is 3rd, Solana is 4th. But I think if we hit $110, I think we would see BNB being overtaken. BNB's had a huge pump. It broke $300 and it didn't stop. It just kept on going. $315 for BNB. I'm bullish on BNB. I'm not as bullish on BNB as I am on XRP and Cardano and the other tokens, however. But I am still fairly bullish on BNB. If you hold BNB through the bull market, you should see a pretty decent return. So Solana is not far away from catching up with BNB. Where are we? There we are. The price of Solana cooled in recent days after its 120% monthly rally in December, saw its market cap grow larger than that of BNB. The retrace saw Solana's price fall below $100 before spending several hours at $101. Time publication, Solana is 105. As we know, it's 109 now. However, an unexpected 9% uptick in the price of BNB has now seen the token reclaim its position as the 4th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Solana's rally saw several Sol-based meme coins, including Bonk and Dog with Hat, also witness incredible price action over the last few weeks. So let's have a quick look. Brogan did the TA on this. I don't know if you remember. What day is it today? Today's Friday. So on Wednesday, we were in the office live streaming, and Brogan drew some price targets for Solana. Where is it going to go? What was it going to do? And this was kind of in response to me saying, are we going to move to 130 or are we going to come down again? And where we both agreed was that Solana was going to retrace a little bit. And as you can see here, Brogan managed to pretty much draw the line on the nose. So he predicted the price coming down to pretty much staying above $100.66 or whatever it was, at which point we have bounced. Now, we've bounced. The RSI isn't too high. We do not have, we're not we're not overbought like we have done here and here and here. We've not overbought. So I'm not expecting a huge pullback from here. In fact, if anything, I'd expect us to get back up towards $112. Maybe, depending on what happens with Bitcoin, maybe trying to get back up towards $120. All of the support. 6 months ago, if you asked people in the street, can you name me top 3 cryptocurrencies? Most people would say Bitcoin. Most people would say Ethereum. And some people might say XRP because of the court case. If you ask those same people today, I think they would say Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. That goes a long way to pump the price of a coin, because lots of retail will come to the market, not care about market cap, which I harp on about all the time. They won't care about the resetting of the chain. They don't care about how decentralized it is. They will go to the market with $1,000 and they'll buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And whether that's been manipulated by the powers that be, who knows? But I think Solana is going to be the darling of retail in the next run. It's got games, it's got NFTs, it's got DeFi, it's got mobile phone, it's sexy, you could call it shallow. However, it's knocking Ethereum off the top of all the charts for volume, for lots of other things. So much as I think we are way above where we should be in terms of the price of Solana, I thought we would struggle to get near $100 by the end of the year. We're ahead of that. You've got to admit that when a price of a coin just starts to tear, and it's a big coin, it's a top 10 coin. I'm not talking about Bonk here with a sub 1 billion market cap. When a top 10 coin is pumping like this and it's in the news and people are reading about it, that will drive retail to certain exchanges to buy those coins. And remember, buying Bonk, buying meme coins that are on the ecosystem just adds to the ecosystem. So much as I think we're ahead of schedule, I don't think we're that far ahead of schedule. I do think we will start to move up again. I think this retracement was healthy. Again, I've said this before, if you have a coin that just goes vertical, it's just going to come straight back down again. What we need is you need the steps, like what Bitcoin has been doing. We're not going to bring the Bitcoin chart up again, but Bitcoin has been going up in steps. And this has been very healthy. In my opinion, very healthy. This, not so much. Now, if we do come down, RSI's cooled off. If we do come down, we start to move up again. All good. All good, as far as I can see. We've had a cool-off period. We're seeing decent growth. I think $120 is next, then potentially $130 as Brogan has drawn here. So still bullish on Solana. I'm not shilling it. Full disclosure, I do hold some Solana. It's nowhere near the amount of Cardano or XRP that I hold. I hold more Cardano and XRP, but I am bullish on Solana. Now, a coin closely associated with Solana at the minute is Injective. And why Injective can be the next Solana. I don't like these headlines because it's been used for the last 2 or 3 years about Solana is going to be the next Ethereum. They do it all the time. Now, that just reminds me, we are at 11:22, so it is time to drop some crypto. Let me very quickly do this. This is going to take a couple of minutes to drop the crypto into chat, and then we will crack on. Hang on 1 second. And we always overrun. The chances of seeing Do Kwon and Trump NFTs on this stream always get slimmer around this time in the stream because we spend more time looking at the coins, more time looking at the charts, and just talking about the macro news. But we put them in there because sometimes, you never know, we might get through the stream a lot faster than usual. So that's one red envelope dropped. Give me a second to drop the next one. Where are we on here? Right, let me drop this one. There is a really big problem with this new, there's like a rewards tool. I can't find it, give me a second. Where are we? Just bear with me. If I don't get this right, I don't drop the box, and then the people watching, they don't get their rewards. So I have to make sure I do this properly. Where are I? There we go. Right. There we go, nearly there. Found it. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. One day, when we're a huge channel with a huge team behind us, we're not going to have to worry about pausing the stream so I can drop the boxes. Okay, now everybody should have a red envelope to claim. That red envelope is the free crypto we give out every stream, and take it with our blessings. One thing I would like to say is that we do the majority of these streams based on donations from people. Now, the reason I bring that up is that it's we don't get notified when somebody sends us crypto. We don't get notified until the end of the stream. So 2 days ago we had 5 donations, thank you very much. Yesterday we had 3 donations, thank you very much. We convert it all into SHIB and we pay it back out. Big thank you to all of you that do that. It is greatly appreciated. So let's move on. Why Injective can be the next Solana. We're not going to go through the huge chunk of this because there's too much of it, but we're going to read some basically some of the headlines. So Injective has surged 2,000%, rivaling Solana and becoming a major force in the crypto market. The ecosystem has Helix, Hydra, Mito, Talis, White Whale, Black Panther, a few others. It's emerged as a force in the crypto landscape with unparalleled potency, breaking all-time highs from the previous bull cycle. It's already witnessed a 2,000% surge, outshining numerous altcoins. This is where it's dangerous. It's dangerous to buy into a project that, in my opinion, has gone up that much. But what is Injective? Injective, I think its current market cap is about $3 billion, which is sizable, but is it a little bit too large to be investing in? That's what we're going to have a little look at now. So Injective is the blockchain built for finance. It has its own ecosystem of projects, the ones we've recently mentioned: Cosmos, Hive, 2 names that have been in the news a lot in the last few days. It's connected to Ethereum. It's got obviously Helix, as we've mentioned. There's lots of Kepler. There's lots of well-known projects in here. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a decent project. I don't invest in it. I've never reviewed it in terms of making a video about it, but it has done very well for itself. So it's built for finance, but it's also been built in a way that allows Solana developers to write contracts to work on the Injective ecosystem. That's very important. Why? Because they're tapping in to the third biggest cryptocurrency in the world, which is currently going to be Solana, behind Ethereum and behind Bitcoin. So I wouldn't say that it's trying to overtake Solana. I'd say it's complementary to Solana. As we see here, the market cap is 3.1 billion. All time, the price action from the previous bull run was $20. It's currently sitting at $37.50. It's going to be listed on all the exchanges. The exchange you're watching us on now will have Injective. Do I think it's a good price to buy Injective at? No. And I'm going to tell you why. Try not to cover coins which have pumped so dramatically, simply because you end up buying the top. We looked at this with Blazell months ago. Blazell absolutely tore. I said, don't buy it, wait for the retracement. Bonk, same thing. Don't buy it, wait for the retracement. You can name Solana. Solana, you could have been buying Solana at $120. It came back to $100. That could possibly be a good price to buy in. Injective, I think and feel the same way. On Thursday, the 12th of October, you would have paid $7.61 for Injective. So if we go back, let's say we go back to September. So 3 months ago, 3 months to the day, we're going to call it $8. It's nearly 5x in 3 months. It has left the bull market support band, or its moving averages, whatever you want to call it. That is now sitting at this range here, which is the price it was at. Now, let's go back all the way to the beginning, which you can't do on this chart. Let's go to weekly, see if it comes up on weekly. There we go. Okay, so this is the weekly chart, which is what I'm trying to show here. The full range of Injective. We had this solid line here, and this fib level, I believe, we drew this months ago. We've sat in this range. We talked about this red zone before. We talked about it for Cardano. We talked about it for XRP. You buy in the red zone. If you believe the project is going to do well, you buy in the red zone. Why do you buy in the red zone? Because the red zone for good projects is always the bottom. So I'm not going to, but again, we could bring up Cardano, we could bring up XRP, and there is a hit zone here. Cardano was at 25 cents, I believe, when it was down here. I believe XRP was somewhere, XRP and Cardano both down there. Now, what I want people to realize is that I was asked a question a few months ago when XRP was struggling to get above, I think it was 50 cents. And the question posed to me was, why are we going to buy, or why should we buy XRP when it's struggling at 50 cents or 48 cents or something around that it was? And I said, because we are down here, and at some point XRP is going to move up. And now, today, which is maybe 2 months later, XRP is at 63 cents after a retracement. XRP is going to move up. Cardano was at 25 cents. Cardano is now at 62 cents. So if we look at a chart like this, and it's a project that we believe in, because remember, Remember how pump and dumps work? Pump and dumps do this. This is what a pump and dump looks like, okay? You can go and look at meme coins all day long and you will see a massive spike. It will retrace, it will have a mini pump, and then it will go to zero, okay? Coins follow the same patterns. This is what I'm saying, you have to believe in the project. Look at what Injective has done. Injective has left its moving average. It's absolutely rocketed up to this level here, which is about $41. And now we're seeing a retracement. Where would I see that retracement coming? Well, naturally, I would expect it to come down to $25 because this is going to keep moving up. Okay, so it's going to come down, it's going to meet its moving average and then possibly move up. I don't think it's going to get too far ahead of itself. Remember what the moving average is for. It's to provide support. So it's like a trampoline. It helps you bounce. That's what it's there for. If you're under the moving average, it's like being stuck under a sheet of ice. It's very difficult to break it, very difficult to break out. That's the same with the different fib levels as well. They also act as resistance. We're looking at Bitcoin struggling to break 44,000. That's simply because it's a previous level of support, and it's proven to be quite difficult to break 44,000. And there might be different reasons for it not to break 44,000. So the reason I'm showing you Injective is, you look at this chart, you're going to buy here, and you're going to say, this is an amazing project. This is going to go to $200. It's currently got a market cap of 3 billion. That 3 billion market cap is going to act as a weight to stop it from going higher. Because if it goes to, so it's at 3 billion, so let's see where it is in the charts. It'll be down here somewhere, won't it? Injective is 30 for 3 billion. So let's say you buy this thinking it's going to 10x, or maybe even, let's say it's going to 5x. 5x would put it at 15 billion. That would put it at the same level as Avalanche. In my opinion, it's not at the same level as Avalanche yet. It needs to be fleshed out. Remember, you need adoption, and you need utility, and you need a community to use your project. Avalanche is way ahead. Cardano is only at 22 billion. So what do we need to see? We need to see somewhat of a retracement to bring the price down to allow for liquidity to come back in. People will sell at $40, hoping to buy back in. So where could they buy back in? I think, in all seriousness, $25 is a good price to buy back in. That would be a 50% retracement. That would bring the market cap down to about 2 billion, and then you could expect it to have another 4x, because that would put it, for some reason this chart hasn't worked, I'd put it somewhere in this twilight zone here. It would go into the Bermuda Triangle and hopefully come out the other end. So do I think it's a top 20 coin? Yes, I do. I don't think it's a top 10 coin. And that is how I value projects, based on the market cap, based on the price action. In my opinion, this has to come down. It has to come down. Now, the one caveat to this is, of course, Bitcoin. If the macro environment changes and Bitcoin rips, and it rips to $55,000, Injective is going to be pulled along. I talk about this all the time. Bitcoin is the bulldog, and it's on one lead, and it's got all these puppies behind it, which are all the altcoins. And when Bitcoin runs off, it takes a little bit of time for the leads to tighten, but then it will drag everything with it. So do I think at this stage, without a Bitcoin pump, it's top 10 coin? No, I don't. That's why I'm saying possibly wait for a retracement. It is a good project. I might do a video on it. And just go and do your own research on Injective. In my opinion, it's a good project. I would still value Solana above Injective. But if you're looking for returns, could Injective go to $25 and then $100? Yes. Could it go from here to $100 in one move right now? No, it needs to have a retracement. It's flown too far and too close to the sun too quickly, and it needs to come back down. Now we're going to move on. 11:38 already. I really need to speed up. Right, let me check. This is the final big article of the day. Hello, Syed. Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you. I'm trying to read some of the messages, but it keeps refreshing back down to the bottom. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Yeah, Pepe. It's a meme coin. Meme coins are great to make short-term gains, but unless you're looking at a meme coin that has a strategy to build itself out into a utility token or a community token, then those gains will be short-lived. So meet the parents, who are the ETF big boys taking over Bitcoin. Now, this is the final day today for submission of changes to the ETF applications. So spot Bitcoin ETFs are attracting leading asset managers, BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, vying for dominance in the digital asset market. Crypto native ETF applicants NYDIG, Galaxy, ARK, Bitwise, Valkyrie with lower AUMs are leveraging their crypto industry familiarity. Smaller players like Hashdex and Pando are making strides in South America and Switzerland. We don't need to read all of that nonsense. Here we go. On December 28th, Fred Krueger posted a Meet the Parents look into the new buyers of the world's largest cryptocurrency. Thank you for your efforts, plebs. We'll take over from here, he quipped. BlackRock is the big daddy of them all and the largest asset manager in the world. Its total assets under management are $10 trillion, which is about half of the US GDP and a third of its epic national debt. Fidelity is also a major player with $4 trillion. With just over 1.5 trillion, its third. We know about this. Where is the news? Here we go. One of the first companies to file an amendment on deadline day was ARK Invest. ETF analyst Eric Balchunas commented that the amendment was centered around authorized participants, but it was unclear what was changed. Fellow analyst James Seffart said that more were likely to follow today as final preparations are made. MB Capital partner Tom Dunleavy said that the Bitcoin ETFs is not a sell the news event, adding max inflows are coming. He cited several reasons, including huge marketing campaigns, crypto in pension funds, and regulatory de-risking, which makes the asset class more accessible to institutions. Totally agree. There is also some, I want to call it fake news, but it's not fake news as such. And that is that there is talk of the Saudi Arabian royal family wanting to buy $500 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's 500 and a lot of zeros. And it's been shared by some spoof BTF accounts. The news hasn't been ratified. We covered this a few weeks ago. And what it is over time, they want to buy Bitcoin as one of their assets. And they're talking about buying Bitcoin over a period of, I believe, 10 or 20 years. It would still equate to $20-30 billion a year. It would still be a large amount of money. But the headline that people are peddling is it's 500 billion worth of Bitcoin to be bought today. Now, anyone who knows anything about investing knows that you can't go out and buy $500 billion in an asset that is only worth 900 billion, because there's not enough Bitcoin in the world to buy. There's only 1 million on the books of the different exchanges. So they would buy it over a period of time. They also know that you have to dollar cost average in, because that amount of purchasing would basically, it would surge the price of Bitcoin beyond any recognition. And that's not how they do it. Look at what MicroStrategy have done. They've been buying 10,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin. That's what I would expect the Saudi royal family to do. They would probably buy 1,000 Bitcoin every few weeks to try and accumulate over time, and not tell anybody they're doing it, not announce the wallet, not look how El Salvador have done it. El Salvador are coming at it from a position of weakness. The Saudi royal family are coming at it from a position of strength. The sheer fact that they want to do this is bullish enough. Forget the amount of money, that's irrelevant. So I agree that this is not a buy the rumor, sell the news event, but there is going to be some correction. Now, what could possibly play out is Bitcoin could run up to $69,000 next year, previous all-time high. You will see a lot of people try and get out. A lot of people that are trapped. I think it's only a couple of percent of the total Bitcoin holders are trapped at that price. They will sell off. It then all depends on what the buying power is. What is going to be the buying power to absorb that amount of Bitcoin being sold? So, in terms of retracement, what could happen? We could go to $65,000, $70,000. We could retrace to $50,000. That would be, I don't know what that would be, 30% retracement, whatever it might be. And then we could see a move up towards the end of next year. But I don't think we're going to go from 43,000 to 32,000. There's too much bullish news. And if it does happen, BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, they're going to have a field day. They're going to be buying Bitcoin at a 30% discount. So don't listen to all of the rumors and don't believe everything that is said about these huge, massive dips. If we do have a dip, I think the dip is going to come following a pump, not before. Who in their right mind is going to dump Bitcoin a week before the ETFs are approved? I can't see who's going to do that. It's just not on the table as far as I'm concerned. It would need a black swan to crash the price of Bitcoin from here, in my opinion. And that black swan would have to be a world-altering event, like a conflict or another pandemic or a global event would be the only thing, in my opinion, that would crash the price of Bitcoin. But remember, it wouldn't just take out Bitcoin. It would take out the stock markets, the bonds, the futures, the commodities markets would all be taken out at the same time. And then you'd have to ask yourself, the next question is, where would you rather have your money, in stocks or Bitcoin? That's the next question. So don't, under any circumstances, let anybody flush you out of your Bitcoin at this stage of the market. We are too far into the end game of Bitcoin, and the end game is institutional adoption, which a lot of maxis don't like, and I understand why. And there is a video I'm going to make at some point in the future, which is about basically what would have to happen for Bitcoin to be turned from proof of work to proof of stake. What's stopping that from happening? What would happen if Fidelity, BlackRock, and all the major institutions bought up so much Bitcoin that they could force Bitcoin to switch from proof of work to proof of stake? Because that, in my opinion, is the only existential threat. Because once it's proof of stake, then it gets controlled by the people that own the most Bitcoin. That's what's going to happen with Ethereum. Could we see that happening with Bitcoin? I'll talk about that in a different stream. Now, what we're going to do is let's have a think. Let's have a little look at the Trump news, and then we'll get on with the quiz. And we'll skip over the trial of Do Kwon. It's really, the judge agrees with the SEC that he's broken the law and he has to go and stand trial, and that's what the news is on that one. So let's move on. So Donald Trump, again, as I said at the start of the stream, this was one of the first NFT projects that we covered. Donald Trump dumped $2.4 million worth of crypto. He still has $2.2 million of crypto in his name. Now, he has had 2 NFT collections in his name. They're both on OpenSea. We haven't got time to go through them. They're basically like trading cards where he's dressed as a stormtrooper, he's dressed as Napoleon. It's just weird and wacky. And we panned it. We said it was a terrible thing. and it proved us wrong. The money by then, it didn't really matter. He was selling them at the time for $99, and the most important thing was he was selling them for cash you could pay with your credit card. That was the most interesting thing about the project. Well, now he has sold some of his Ethereum for $2.4 million. And that's from his NFT collection. But he still holds a big chunk of ETH. He still holds his wrapped ETH as well. And of course, people will have sent him Pepe coin and Jesus coin because his wallet was public. It happened to Vitalik, I don't know how many years ago. He was sent something like 2 trillion worth of SHIB, which I think he sold and gave to charity. So, I mean, it happens from time to time. Once you become a household name and people know who you are, they will send you various different cryptocurrencies to give them publicity. It's a done thing. So he sold off some of his crypto. Good for him. The former president initially entered the NFT space in December 2022, sold for $4.5 million. Then he sold another batch, which was a second release. That then originally crashed the market. And since then, I don't think anyone's really been paying any attention to them. You could win. There was some utility. You could win a phone call with him. You could win a round of golf with him. You could win a stay at Mar-a-Lago. There was lots of things associated with it. But you know what? It got out of hand. If he'd have stayed with the first release, I'd have had more credibility added to it. But he didn't. He did a second release. That killed everything. He's taken the money and he's run. Fair play to him. So that is the end of the crypto news. We're going to move on now with the quiz. And while we do that, we are going to turn off one of our streams. So for those of you watching on the non-exchange stream, please make sure to follow, like and subscribe to the channel. We stream o'clock. We'll be streaming tomorrow at